Ever stop and wonder how your body actually builds itself? Everything from the muscles you use to walk to the very hair on your head? Well, it all boils down to this incredible process that's happening inside your cells, like right now. So let's dive in and see how it all works. Think about it. Your body is constantly building, constantly repairing, and it's doing it all based on a set of secret instructions. So what we're going to do is crack that code. We're going to see exactly how those instructions get turned into, well, you. And here's our game plan. It's this beautiful three-step journey. We start with the master blueprint, the DNA. Then that blueprint gets copied into a message, which is carried by RNA. And finally, that message gets read and turned into the final product, a protein. It's that simple and, that fantastically complex at the same time. All right, so our story starts inside the nucleus of a cell. Just picture this as the main office or maybe a super secure vault. This is where the most important information in the entire operation is kept. It's where the master plan for everything you are is locked away safely. Yeah, the DNA is just like the original, priceless architectural drawing for a skyscraper. You'd never, ever take that master blueprint out to the messy, chaotic construction site, would you? Of course not. It is way too valuable. You'd make a working copy. And that is exactly what the cell does. Okay, so that brings us to the first big step, making that copy. This process is called transcription. This is where we take the information from the permanent storage of DNA and put it onto a disposable, mobile message called mRNA. And it all happens in a few really elegant steps. First, the part of the DNA double helix that has the gene we need literally unzips. Those weak little bonds holding the two strands together just break apart. Then, one of those now single strands becomes our template, the perfect pattern for making our copy. And that copy that gets built, we call it messenger RNA, or just mRNA for short. And the name, it's perfect, right? It is the messenger. Its whole job is to carry those vital instructions from the safety of the nucleus out to the main factory floor of the cell. So how's this copy actually made? Well, you've got these building blocks called RNA nucleotides just floating around, and they start pairing up with the DNA template. They follow some really specific rules, as you can see. C always pairs with G. T on the DNA pairs with an A. But here's the one little twist. When there's an A on the DNA, the RNA doesn't use a T. Instead, it slots in something called uracil, or U. That's the one key difference to remember. Okay, our mRNA messenger has its instructions, and it's on the move. It leaves the nucleus and travels out into the wider cell, the cytoplasm. We've officially gone from the architect's office to the construction site. And this next phase is called translation, because now we're going to translate the language of the code into an actual physical thing.
The very first thing our mRNA does is find and latch onto a structure called a ribosome. You can think of the ribosome as the factory, the 3D printer, the assembly line, whatever works for you. This is the machine that's going to read the message on the mRNA and start building our protein.
But a factory is useless without raw materials. And this is where our next player comes in, transfer RNA, or tRNA. Each one of these tiny tRNA molecules is like a highly specialized delivery truck. Its only job is to go grab one specific type of amino acid, which are the building blocks of proteins, and bring it over to the ribosome factory.
So let's just make this super clear. On one side, you've got the mRNA. That's the long strand of instructions, the blueprint copy. On the other side, you've got the tRNA. That's a little transporter, the delivery truck, carrying the materials. You absolutely need both the instructions and the materials to build anything, right?
So how does the ribosome actually read these instructions? Well, the code on the mRNA is read in three-letter words called codons. Each of these little three-letter codons, like AUG or GGC, is a super specific instruction that calls for one and only one type of amino acid. It's the language of life.
And here it is, the magic moment of the whole process. A tRNA delivery truck shows up, and it's carrying its own three-letter sequence called an anticodon. Now, this anticodon is the perfect molecular mirror image of a codon on the mRNA. And if they match, if the key fits the lock, the tRNA docks and delivers its amino acid. It's this beautiful, perfect system that ensures total accuracy.
And this just keeps happening over and over in this incredible rhythm. The ribosome chugs along the mRNA strand, one codon at a time. A tRNA matches up, drops off its amino acid, and then leaves. The ribosome moves again. Another tRNA comes in, matches, drops off its amino acid, and that new one gets linked to the one before it. A chain starts to form, one link at a time.
So after all that work, the copying, the delivering, the translating, the linking, we finally get there. We arrive at the finished masterpiece, a fully functional protein. So as these amino acids are linked up one by one, they form this long, strong chain. But here's the really cool part. It's not just some floppy piece of string. Based on the exact sequence of amino acids, this chain automatically and precisely folds itself into a complex, unique three-dimensional shape. And it's that final shape that gives the protein its specific job in your body.
So why do we care about all this? Why does this tiny molecular dance matter so much? Because, well, this isn't just some neat biology lesson. This process is what determines your eye color. It's what builds the antibodies that fight off a cold. It's what creates the enzymes that digest your food. It is, quite literally, the engine of life itself.
So, let's do a super quick recap of our key players. We had the DNA, our master blueprint. The process of transcription made the mRNA our messenger. That message was read at the ribosome, our factory, during translation. The tRNA delivery trucks brought the amino acid building blocks, which were finally assembled into the finished protein. See? Every single part is absolutely crucial.
And here's the part that just absolutely blows my mind. This whole intricate dance, it's happening trillions of times, every single second, inside of you, right now. That's your body building muscle after a workout, repairing your skin, and making everything work. It is the absolute core of growth, repair, and life itself.
The accuracy of this whole system is just astonishing. But it does bring up one last really fascinating question. The entire shape and job of a protein depends completely on that original code in the DNA blueprint. So what happens if there's just one tiny typo in that original code? Well, that's a story for another time.